Good morning, lovely people. How are we doing today? I'm really looking forward to diving into the skills of gratitude and savouring as a way to lighten our load, to help us really bear witness to the joyful bits so that we can make the most of these pockets of peace. And that's, I think, a balanced way to move through this very difficult chapter that we find ourselves in. Look for pockets of ease. Look for little micro moments of joy. This is a very different Christmas, and there will be joy entwined with these heavier experiences of grief and loss and worry and loneliness for a lot of people. So we shall tread gently today. I want to preface this whole conversation with an understanding that there is a time and a place for all emotion. And right now, in the midst of all of this uncertainty and last minute changes, and the fact that our personal freedoms are very much curtailed, grief is very much the appropriate response. Okay, so not for a second am I saying that we should just buck up and be grateful for our blessings. I think it's healthy to acknowledge the things that are going well in our life, but not at the expense of feeling all of our feelings, which will involve potentially sadness, loss, grief, frustration, anger, all of the above. Okay. These skills of gratitude and savouring are really powerful. This is research backed. So from research in positive psychology, we have learnt that people who have a greater capacity to give thanks, to acknowledge things that are going well in their lives, are happier and healthier and live a longer life. So this is steeped in research. And the beautiful thing is developing our capacity to bear witness to things that are going well, to give thanks, to feel a sense of appreciation, and to really suck the life out of joyful moments. It's a skill that we can all build. We're all doing it already, right? We know how to do this stuff. But when you label it as a particular skill, I think it becomes more salient. We start to realize that it's actually a coping strategy. Yeah, it's something that we can turn to when we need a lift. It's something that will help us restore and heal. And it's something that we can do with our children. We can savor together. We can give thanks together. And this really is a perfect topic for us as we look at what are our values around the holiday period. We've talked over the last few weeks about intention setting. And maybe some of those intentions have been to come together, even though we can't necessarily be in the same physical space as broader family, but bearing witness to what's unfolding right underneath our nose with our own immediate family, and looking at ways that we can share that, maybe virtually with others. Got to get creative, don't we? This is really challenging times. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's define these things. So gratitude is the quality of giving thanks. It's a sense of appreciation. It is noticing the blessings or the lessons that you're learning, the ways that you are growing. So it's not just a quality of thankfulness, it's bigger than that. Savouring, on the other hand, is very specifically, you can see how the two are linked, but savouring is the ability to notice joyful moments. And the beautiful thing about savouring is that there are three components to it. So savouring, we can savour the past by reminiscing. We can savour the present moment by bearing witness with all of our senses to what's happening here and now. And then we can also savour the future by anticipating. Given that there are those three components, it shows us that really it doesn't matter what moment we're in. There is always something that we can savour. There's always something that we can turn our attention to feel a sense of, that is delicious. Maybe that thing has come to pass, but my goodness, wasn't it wonderful? So we cultivate a feeling of thankfulness with gratitude for that thing that has come to pass. But savouring is actually where you relive it. Yes? Where you think about immersing yourself in what it was like in that moment. And it's the reliving that is the savouring. And as I said before, you can savour as an individual, but you can savour together as a family, right? So what I'll be doing with my mum, who is on the other side of the world in Australia, I will be savouring with her on Christmas Day. We'll be talking about Christmas days gone past where we were together. We'll be reliving those moments. And that's the thing that it creates an upward spiral of joy. So granted, we cannot do that now. And I don't know when we'll be able to do that again. That's the scary thought. But we can stay current and we can communicate care and we can stay connected and we can relive those happy memories. And we can also look forwards and say, even though we don't know when we'll be able to do that thing again, we can plan and we can say, I'm so looking forward to doing that thing. And we can imagine what that thing would feel like. And in that moment, that really brings us together. So that really is essentially the skill of savouring. And what a beautiful intention to set as we move into this Christmas period, to build our savouring muscles, yeah, is to notice moments of peace and joy and to drink them in with all, every cell and fibre of your body, yeah? Okay, so shall we just take a quick peek at some of the practices that we can turn to? We've looked already at savouring. So we've got the three components of savouring: reminiscing. You've got enjoying the present moment, which is essentially bearing witness. So this is your mindfulness muscle. And then you've got anticipating the future. So that gives you three concrete ways that you can use the skill of savouring. And it's in terms of savouring the moment, it's very much linked with your senses. So if you imagine savouring scent, savouring the flavour of your food, savouring the sensation of a hug, yeah? Savouring that sense of connecting with another human being, albeit via Zoom, yeah? We can still feel that we're sharing a moment together and just that sense of being wrapped up in love and care. So that takes care of savouring. But let's take a look at some practices that we can turn to develop our capacity for gratitude. We could very simply make a list of all of those things that we feel grateful for, the blessings in our lives. We could even simplify it and say, well, what went well or what got done. Now, there's a second part of that activity that can be really powerful. Instead of just writing down what you're grateful for, next to it, you could write down why that thing happened. You're not writing down why you're grateful for it. You're writing down why that thing happened. So, for example, I had a lovely phone call with my mum last night. Why did that phone call happen? Well, it happened because we care about each other and we make our relationship a priority. It's the why that really gives you a feeling of lift, okay? So journaling is a very, very powerful tool for helping you kind of fine-tune your eyes to see these blessings. And the writing down why it happened, it really helps us feel better about life and our place in it. Okay, so that's one strategy. My favourite way of cultivating gratitude is with an activity that I can share with my kids, my family, my husband. So a couple of suggestions here. You could take a gratitude walk where you go for a walk, or you could take a savouring walk. That's actually another good way. So head out with the express intention of either developing your savouring muscles. So if you were to take a savouring walk, you would give voice to anything that you found awe-inspiring or uplifting or captivating. Yeah, whether it's, the intricacy of a spider web covered in dewdrops, or maybe it's the light as it plays through the bare boughs of trees. Yeah, you savour with your senses and you give voice to it. Or you could take a gratitude walk where as a family you go out and you just talk about all those things that you feel a sense of gratitude for. Yeah, you count your blessings out loud together. Isn't that a beautiful thing? We can get old school and say a prayer before we sit down to eat our evening meal. Yeah, a prayer of thanks. You could make a gratitude jar. That's another thing that you can do. So very similar to what you would be giving voice to on that gratitude walk. If you write it down onto little slips of paper, fold them up, pop them in a jar, and any time where you feel like you need a little lift, a little boost, open up your jar, take something out, and you'll find something that will remind you of a joy in your life. Yeah? Even if that joy has come to pass, even if that joy is not accessible to you right now, we need to remind ourselves that this is just a chapter. This is a chapter of our lives that will come to a close, and we'll start a fresh new chapter, and the world will open up again. We've just got to take good care of ourselves, and huge dollops of compassion until then. Another way that we can share the joy of gratitude is by making a gratitude letter or a gratitude phone call, a gratitude note, letting people know how much we appreciate their role in our lives, what they bring to our lives. And if you can deliver that, if you can read it to them, that is even more powerful rather than just sending it. Yeah? So what a beautiful opportunity at this time of year to just let people know how much they matter to us. Yeah, you might like to think of who is on your team of angels. Why do they matter to you? Why are they so important to you? What do they bring to your life? And let them know. Just say thank you. This deepens our bonds. It boosts collective health. Yeah, collective health and well-being. So that's a simple thing that we can do this Christmas, expressing gratitude. Even if we can't do it face to face, we can still let them know and give the gift of gratitude, the gift that really does keep on giving. Okay, so just to recap, gratitude, a sense of thankfulness, appreciation, but another aspect of that, it could be taking a look at life in its entirety, bearing witness to that, acknowledging the losses, the hurt, the pain, the disappointment, but commingled with this feeling of we're learning, we're growing. So we're learning the lessons where this chapter of our lives is really revealing what's important to us. And then using the skill of giving thanks to deepen our bonds, letting people know. It's in how we spend time together, giving thanks together, counting our collective blessings, whether that be through prayer, writing a letter, a gratitude meal, a gratitude walk. And then we have the skill of savouring, reminiscing, savouring the present moment, drinking it in with every cell and fibre of your being, and savouring the future by anticipating. Now that can be a solo pursuit, or it can be something that you do together. I hope that gives you some ideas on how we can enrich this chapter, this very different chapter. Yes, it needs to take a different shape, but we can still stay true to our values. We can communicate our care, we can stay connected. We just need to do it in different ways. I'm wishing you peace and ease. I hope there's something useful in there for you. And remember, there are loads more tips and tools on the Nourish app that will keep you anchored in calm as we navigate this period of squeeze. Take good care of you, lovely people.